You call your dog's name, and they look at you, then do absolutely nothing, so you assume they're ignoring you. But what if that's not what's happening at all? What if, in that exact moment, your dog is responding to you, just not in the way you expect? Because the truth is, when your dog ignores you, it usually doesn't mean they don't care. It means something deeper is happening, something emotional, something instinctive. And once you understand it, you'll stop taking it personally. Most owners think dogs work like machines. You say come, they come. You say sit, they sit. And if they don't, you label it as stubbornness, disrespect, bad behavior. But dogs don't think like that. They're not trying to challenge your authority. They're trying to make sense of the moment they're in. And that changes everything. Because when your dog doesn't respond right away, there are usually only a few real reasons behind it. And the first one is the one almost nobody talks about. Your dog may be overwhelmed. A dog's brain is constantly scanning sounds, smells, movement, energy. So when you call them in a highly stimulating environment, at the park, near strangers, around other dogs, or even inside a loud house, your voice may not be the only thing they're processing. It's not that they don't hear you, it's that their nervous system is busy sorting what matters most in that moment. And sometimes that means they freeze. Sometimes they hesitate. Sometimes they look at you, but can't act yet. That's not defiance, that's overload. And once you realize that, you stop saying, "Why is my dog ignoring me?" and start asking, "What is my dog dealing with right now?" That single shift can completely change your relationship. But that's only one reason. Because sometimes your dog isn't overwhelmed, they're uncertain. And this is where things get emotional. Dogs are incredibly sensitive to tone, body language, and consistency. So if your commands sometimes mean one thing and other times mean something else, your dog can start hesitating, not because they don't want to listen, but because they're not fully sure by what you want. Think about it. One day, you call them over in a sweet voice just to cuddle. Another day, you call them over to stop them from doing something. Another day, you call them to put them in the bath. And another day, you call them just before leaving the house. Your dog notices all of that. They build emotional associations faster than most people realize. So if come here sometimes leads to comfort and other times leads to something stressful, your dog may pause. Not because they're ignoring you, but because they're trying to predict what happens next. That pause, that hesitation, that look they give you, that's not rebellion. That's emotional calculation. And most owners completely miss it because from the outside, it looks like nothing. But inside your dog, a lot is happening. They're reading your energy. They're checking your tone. They're remembering past experiences. And then they decide how safe this moment feels. That's why trust matters so much more than control. Because a dog who deeply trusts you responds differently. Not out of fear, not out of pressure, but out of emotional safety. And if this is already changing the way you see your dog, take a second to like the video and subscribe. Because what ignoring means in older dogs is something even fewer people understand. As dogs get older, their responses can change, and many owners make the mistake of thinking their dog has just become stubborn. But age changes everything. Hearing gets weaker, vision changes, joints become stiff, reaction time slows down, energy drops, even cognitive function can shift. So when an older dog doesn't respond immediately, it may not be attitude at all. It may be discomfort. It may be confusion. It may even be the beginning of a health issue you haven't noticed yet. And that's why sudden behavior changes should never be brushed off, especially if your dog used to respond well and now seems distant, slower, or less engaged. Because your dog may not be ignoring you, they may be struggling quietly. And the heartbreaking part, a lot of dogs communicate pain through withdrawal. Not noise, not drama, withdrawal. They move less, respond less, engage less, and owners often mistake that silence for disobedience. But sometimes, silence is a signal, and the dogs who need the most understanding often become the ones judged the most. Now here's another reason dogs seem to ignore you, and this one surprises people. Your relationship may have become too command-heavy. In other words, your dog mostly hears your voice when you want something. Sit, come, stop, leave it, go there, no. Over time, if almost every interaction becomes instruction, your voice can start to feel like pressure instead of connection. And dogs feel that. They may still love you deeply, but they begin responding with less enthusiasm, less joy, less emotional openness, because connection has been replaced by correction. This is why some dogs come alive around people who don't even own them, not because they love them more, but because those interactions feel lighter, safer, less loaded. That doesn't mean your bond is broken, but it may mean your dog needs more moments with you that ask for nothing. And here's something even deeper, something that most dog owners never stop to think about. Your dog is always watching you, not just when you're calling them, not just when you're playing, but in the quiet moments too. When you're sitting, when you're stressed, when your energy changes. They notice everything. Dogs don't just respond to words, they respond to emotional patterns. So if your dog sometimes seems like they're ignoring you, it might actually be because they're unsure of your emotional state. Think about that. If your tone feels tense, if your body feels rushed, if your energy feels unpredictable, your dog doesn't always move closer. Sometimes they pause, because in their world, energy means everything. And this is where the real shift happens. Because the best dog owners don't just train commands. They become emotionally consistent. Calm voice, clear signals, predictable reactions. And when that happens, something incredible starts to change. Your dog begins to trust your voice differently. They don't hesitate as much. They don't second guess as much. Because now, your voice doesn't just tell them what to do. It tells them they're safe. And safety is the strongest motivator a dog can feel. Stronger than treats, stronger than commands, even stronger than habit. And once your dog feels that kind of safety with you, you'll notice something powerful. They'll start responding faster, not because they have to, but because they want to. Because now your voice doesn't feel like pressure, it feels like connection. And that's the moment everything changes. So next time your dog looks at you and doesn't move right away, don't assume the worst. Don't jump to frustration. Instead, look at them a little longer. Because in that small pause, there's a message, a feeling, a moment of communication that most people completely miss. Your dog isn't ignoring you. They're trying to understand you. And once you start understanding them back, that's when the real bond begins. Because your dog isn't just listening to your words, they're listening to who you are.